So now I'm going to transplant, and again, this is leaf lettuce and some with really developed roots, some not so much, but that's okay. Not everything in your garden will grow, and what doesn't grow here, we will use the rest of the lettuce for the rabbits, or it goes to compost. And this is where I'm going to transplant. Again, some compost. This was a dryer sheet. They don't break down, but they do help provide some air and movement within the soil. So I'm going to take this out and toss this. And I'm going to dig about an inch deep. I see some worms. See, they're constantly breaking down, and as you can see, turning the soil into rich black gold. That may be more than an inch. You can tell that math is not my best subject. So here's one. It has some substantial roots. And I don't think I want to be down that far. So I'm gonna one down. Now we're gonna work on number 2. This one's not so great, so I'm just going to toss it and let it compost down. I'll just throw it there. And then later, it'll make it to my compost bin. And this one has some really good roots. So the main thing is making sure the roots are covered. And my last one of the day. And just so you know, eggshells take a long time to break down, but they are good for calcium. Some people will grind them up. You can put them in a blender and make powder. Again, I believe in doing less. I have more time than money, so some things I will do to speed up processes, but I'm not in a hurry. This one hasn't developed many roots, so I'm gonna let that one stick behind. This one has a few roots, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a go. And with lettuce, it does not like a lot of heat or too much direct sun, because it is a cool season vegetable. So you want to avoid putting it where it's going to get a lot of direct sunlight. This is on my porch, so it should be good. I'm just manipulating the soil just a bit. I can see have some dryness there, but for the most part, most of it is pretty moist. So that's where this water with all the nutrients in it will go. And it has drain holes, so I have another planter at the bottom that will catch the excess. basically watering two at one time. It will drain. There we go with the transplanting. I'm going to take some of this dead part off. And you can just pinch it off. It's okay to leave it there or put it in your compost bin, because as it breaks down, it gives the soil the nutrients from that. All right, well, that's it for now. I think this is going to be my transplant day. So, what I have here is some tomatoes that I started from seed, and you can see I just threw a coffee filter that had grinds in it, and just threw the seeds on top. I call myself the lazy gardener. I just don't like spending a lot of unnecessary time. Like I said, I'm in no hurry for anything. I'm breaking off stock from previously that was okra that was grown, so I'm gonna take that out and toss it to another pot. I think I want to remove this Swiss chard because this has the setup for tomatoes. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. So this was the grow bag that I had underneath the table that I have on my front porch. You can see compost is still breaking down. We got a few gnats and so on. I'm gonna water afterwards because part of this bag, although it was catching water from the other plant, a lot of it is dry. So that's not good for the worms, obviously not good for the plants. So I think I will put the Swiss chard right in here because I also have some sprouts of mustard greens growing. So you can see the tomatoes grew through the coffee filter, and it probably started to break down to decompose. That is it for my transplanting today. Everything's gonna get a douse of water now. So we transplanted tomatoes, transplanted Swiss chard, and transplanted lettuce heads. Again, many of these are things that you can grow from your produce that you buy, especially tomatoes. Squeeze the seeds out. Like I said, you could start them in a filter filled with coffee grinds and covered with soil. But yeah, that's more ways to stretch your dollar and get more bang for your buck. As your produce keeps growing and growing, that's less you have to buy from the store. Now these tomatoes, I would say it's gonna take anywhere from another 60 days, 90 days tops for it to, begin to get stalks and see flowers and start tomatoes. But again, I'm in no hurry. All right, this is getting roots on lettuce. So these have been in my windowsill for approximately 2 maybe 2.5 weeks. And some have developed rich roots, some are still working on roots. So the ones with the rich roots, I'm going to transplant today. So again, easy ways to turn store-bought veggies and fruits into a garden. This is just lettuce that I bought from the store, and I believe it was organic. May or may not be. That doesn't make a huge difference except for health-wise. But you know, you can fertilize it with your worm compost where you don't have to add pesticides to your garden. So again, kitchen scraps into a garden. So when we transplant, we want to be careful of the roots. So you want to try to dig a little away from the plant, but maybe at an angle to go underneath so you don't cut into roots. Yes, I think everything needs a bit of water. And sometimes doing watering beforehand creates less stress on the plant, and it makes it easier to work with the soil. Ooh, this one's pretty sturdy. Wow. And this is one that I planted last year from seed. So make sure I don't leave these roots exposed. I'm going to transplant those tomatoes in this pot. And I'm famous for not marking my plants. I'm not sure what this is growing. Yes, I definitely have some areas where I could use some improvement. I'm going to try to center it because I don't want the roots to be too close to whatever I have growing there. That may end up getting transplanted as the tomatoes flourish.